It was a crisp morning in Dallas, Texas, and the luxurious downtown shopping district was already alive with activity. Inside Preston Wardrobe, a high-end clothing boutique known for its exclusive clientele and steep price tags, employees bustled to prepare for the day. Among them was Danielle, the lead saleswoman who prided herself on her keen eye for detail and her ability to spot customers who, in her words, fit the brand. Danielle stood near the front counter, carefully inspecting a display of silk scarves when the bell above the entrance chimed. She looked up, ready to greet the latest arrival, but her warm smile froze. Jackson Reed, a tall, middle-aged man wearing a simple polo shirt, jeans, and most notably, a bright red America First cap, had stepped inside. For a brief moment, the atmosphere shifted. Danielle's sharp gaze scanned him from head to toe, her expression unreadable. A few other customers glanced in his direction, their reactions ranging from indifference to mild curiosity. Jackson didn't seem to notice, or maybe he didn't care. He walked toward a rack of tailored suits with the ease of someone who belonged. Danielle turned to her coworker, Lisa, and muttered under her breath, "You've got to be kidding me. Does he think this is the kind of store that'll tolerate that kind of statement?" Lisa hesitated, her eyes darting nervously between Jackson and Danielle, but said nothing. Straightening her blazer, Danielle decided to handle the situation herself. After all, she thought, it was her responsibility to maintain the boutique's reputation. With quick strides, she approached Jackson, her heels clicking against the polished marble floor. "Excuse me, sir," she began, her voice polite but firm. "I'm not sure you're aware, but we have a dress code here. We encourage attire that aligns with the elegance of our brand, and your hat doesn't quite meet those standards." Jackson looked up from the navy blazer he was inspecting, his expression calm. "Oh, I see," he said, his voice steady. "I wasn't aware there was a dress code for hats. I'm just here to look around. I won't be long." Danielle crossed her arms, her tone growing colder. "It's not just about hats, sir. We aim to create an environment where all of our customers feel comfortable and, well, your choice of headwear might make others uncomfortable." Jackson paused, holding her gaze. "I didn't realize my hat could cause so much trouble in a place like this, but I'm just browsing. Unless that's a problem too?" Danielle felt her patience thinning. To her, his calm demeanor came off as smugness. "Sir, I think it would be best if you found another store, perhaps one more suitable for your style." At this, a few customers turned their attention to the conversation, some watching with mild interest, others awkwardly pretending not to notice. Jackson glanced around as if weighing his options, then offered a polite smile. "All right," he said simply and began heading for the door. Danielle exhaled, satisfied that she had resolved the situation. But as Jackson exited, something about his quiet composure unsettled her. She shook it off, her focus shifting back to the store. It wasn't her job to question every customer's background, she reasoned. Her job was to protect the boutique's image. But little did Danielle know, her decision to remove Jackson would come back to haunt her in ways she could never have imagined. The air in Preston Wardrobe seemed to settle after Jackson left, or so Danielle thought. She returned to arranging a rack of cocktail dresses, feeling a small sense of triumph. To her, she had upheld the store's exclusivity and made a clear statement about what the boutique represented. But as the minutes ticked by, a faint buzz of murmurs from nearby customers lingered near the counter. Lisa, the younger sales associate, shuffled nervously. She had seen Danielle confront customers before, but something about this situation didn't sit right with her. She couldn't shake the nagging feeling that Jackson looked familiar. Flipping through her mental catalog of faces and names, she suddenly remembered a staff meeting just a week earlier. The boutique's owner, a corporate tycoon, had announced a new partnership with a major investor, someone who had recently purchased several stores in the chain. That man, she realized, had been Jackson. Her heart dropped. She debated whether to speak up but hesitated, unsure how Danielle would react. Danielle had always been intimidating, quick to dismiss concerns as overthinking. Meanwhile, Jackson walked down the street, his hands in his pockets, his expression unreadable. It wasn't the first time someone had judged him for his hat, but this encounter felt different. He wasn't angry. He rarely let himself get rattled by such things. Instead, he was curious. How often, he wondered, did this boutique treat customers based on appearances? As someone who valued professionalism above all else, Jackson saw this as an opportunity to assess his new investment more closely. Back in the store, the doorbell chimed again. Danielle turned, expecting another customer, but instead, she saw Victoria, the store manager, walking in with her usual brisk energy. Victoria had been out for most of the morning attending a corporate meeting about upcoming changes. Busy day? Victoria asked, scanning the store with a practiced eye. Danielle shrugged. Just the usual crowd, although we did have an interesting visitor earlier. Victoria raised an eyebrow. Interesting how? A guy came in wearing one of those America First hats, Danielle said, her voice dripping with disdain. I had to ask him to leave. We don't need that kind of energy here. Victoria froze mid-step. You did what? She asked, her tone sharp. Danielle frowned. I asked him to leave, she repeated, suddenly feeling uneasy. Why? Victoria grabbed her phone, frantically scrolling through her email. She pulled up a message and turned the screen toward Danielle. There, in bold letters, was a corporate announcement about Jackson Reed, the new owner of Preston Wardrobe. Are you telling me you just kicked out the man who owns this store? Victoria's voice wavered between disbelief and panic. Danielle's face drained of color. No, no way. That can't be him. He didn't say anything about being the owner. Why would he? Victoria snapped. He's known for visiting his stores unannounced. It's how he evaluates customer service. And now he knows exactly what kind of service we offer here. Danielle's heart began to pound. I didn't know. He didn't look like. Like what? Victoria interrupted. Like someone who could own this place? Danielle, what were you thinking? The weight of her mistake hit Danielle like a freight train. She glanced around the boutique, her confidence crumbling. The customers who had been browsing now felt like silent witnesses to her humiliation. Even Lisa, who had overheard the entire conversation, avoided her gaze. I didn't mean, Danielle stammered. But Victoria cut her off. It doesn't matter what you meant. What matters is how he felt when he walked out that door. Victoria ran a hand through her hair, visibly stressed. If we're lucky, he'll let this slide. But don't hold your breath. Danielle swallowed hard, her mind racing. She had always prided herself on her instincts, her ability to handle any situation. But now she realized her quick judgments might cost her more than just her pride. And then, as if on cue, the bell above the door chimed again. Every employee turned to look. Jackson Reed had walked back into the store.